Hi friends, it's Becky, and I was so excited because I got my curated collections from Beads to Live By in the mail today. So we're going to go through all of the bits and pieces that were in it, what we got, and we'll show all the beads up close in just a minute. But let me just tell you first of all what it is. Beads to Live By has two monthly bead subscriptions. One is for 2 whole beads and the other is for seed beads, and I subscribe to both. Cassandra also very kindly sent me a selection of the add-on bundle. There's actually more beads than this available in there. She just sent me some of them so I could share them with you guys about some of the add-on bundle things that are in addition to the subscription that are pressed glass and some fire polish beads. So I'll show you some of those as well. But this is one of my favorite bead subscriptions. I don't know about you guys, but I always have had so much trouble trying to decide on colors when I'm looking at beads, especially seed beads, especially all of these other like 2 whole beads. If there's just a page full of all of these different colors of beads, I don't know what looks good with the other beads. I don't know how they go together. I can make some assumptions, I can make some guesses, but if my monitor isn't calibrated the same way that it looks in real life, I might be disappointed when it arrives and it's not the color I was expecting. But Cassandra does all that work for you. She picks out a palette of beads, and I put them in a paint palette, so you'll see how well they work together for that. A palette of beads that go really well together. She picks out some 2 whole beads that will go with that month's seed bead subscription. And then she picks out some check glass beads that will go through the whole thing. And sometimes the check glass beads will inform to her like what color she's going to pick for these. But it's so fun because I don't know what I'm going to expect, except I do expect that everything will go together. And the really fun part and the challenging part for me is that sometimes there are beads that are maybe a color that I wouldn't normally purchase. Like, I'm not a huge orange guy, but very often, if orange is included in one of these curated collections, it goes so well and it accompanies and accents the rest of the colors in that collection that it makes me love orange. It makes me like want to use it in designs with all of those other things. So that's just my little spiel about how much I love it. And I know not everybody likes surprises. I personally love surprises. But usually if there's extras, they'll get put up on the Beads to Live By site, and you could purchase the beads after you've seen what they are, after I show them to you, if you don't want to subscribe ahead of time. But you do get a discount as a subscriber as opposed to purchasing it after the fact. Let's go ahead and go through what is in each of these subscriptions. For the seed bead subscription, you get 8 different selections of seed beads in 4 sizes. You get 2, 2.5, is that 2.5 inch? It's these tubes. And they are full, they come full. I have emptied some of these out into my paint palette, which is why the level's down here a little bit. But you get 2 of the 15-0 seed beads. You get 2 different colors of 11-0 seed beads, and these are all 10-gram bags of seed beads. Then you get 2 different colors of 8-0 seed beads and 2 different colors of 6-0 seed beads. And I love that we got so many different sizes of seed beads because it really expands the kind of things that you can make with them, and it gives you more flexibility. Like, I have a Cellini spiral that I'm currently in the middle of stitching with one of the previous curated collections because all of the beads go together. So I could just pick, maybe I want to do a Cellini spiral that's all like greens and browns, and I could pick these 4 to go together. Or maybe I would want some reds in place of some of these, and maybe that, and they go. So it's really fun to get all of those different colors, to get all of those different sizes. And then you get 5 different selections of 2-hole beads, and these are check 2-hole beads. So in this one, and the shapes may change. The first year that I was getting it, we had all the same shapes. And then earlier this year, we started getting some new shapes like Rula beads and the ginkgos and the mini chevrons. Those were new. And there were some daggers that we got for a while and other types of 2-hole beads. This selection, we've got some 2-hole check tile beads, and it looks like these are all in like a metallic, rosy metallic colors. So that's a variety of those. We have some 2-toned 2-hole lentil beads, and these have the holes just like a button in the middle there. One side is green, the other side is this like cranberry red, a really warm coppery red. And we'll get a little bit closer for these other ones. We've got some mini chevrons, we've got some ginkgos, and we've got some nib bit beads. And I got nib bit beads in last month, and I wanted to make something with them, but I never got around to doing it. So I'm going to do that this month. We're going to have a nib bit project when we do that. Let's get up close, a closer look at each of these beads in depth, the colors, and what we've got. So we've got these like creamy yellow, almost white. It's like an off-white, just a really light yellow, silver-lined 15-0 seed beads. And right next to them, we've got these matte brown. They're like a light brown, not quite light enough to be like khaki, 11-0 seed beads. When I was looking at these in their tubes, I held them up next to each other and I said, you know what? This is cinnamon sugar. It's cinnamon sugar right there. That's what it made me think of. And that's what these colors are making me think of, are fall flavors. Like we had this last month, we had our spooky season colors, and now we're getting our fall flavors where just it's evoking, you know, cranberries and apples and just those warm, fragrant spices that you get with fall baking. And so that's what these are making me think of, and I'm sure you guys can see it too. And then for our 11-0s, we have these like kind of Granny Smith colored green beads that have kind of a travertine speckles on them. So you've got all those brown speckles. It gives them a lot of depth and a lot of personality. And that's one of the 11-0 selections. And then the second 11-0 selection is a very dark brown, like really deep dark chocolate brown matte bead. And these are the other 11-0 selection. For our 8-0s, we have these cherry red, and I don't know if they're actually cherry red, but they are opaque. They make me think of cranberries or like black cherries almost for this color of our 8-0 seed beads. And then we've got more matte seed beads, and this is just a warm, spicy brown. This is like apple cider. That's what color this is. It's an apple cider colored seed bead, and that's the other 8-0 seed bead. For our 6-0 seed beads, there's two matte selections. One is this warm cranberry red one, and the other one is this frosted kind of a dark sage green that we've got there. So we've got our greens and our reds and our browns and, you know, our neutral pop. You've got a bright pop of color. You've got some warmer, earthier colors. You've got your deep red colors. It looks great. It looks good enough to eat, I think. Let's get a little closer with our other beads. These are the mini chevron beads. They look like a chevron. And let me grab a piece of wire real quick. This is what happens when you clean off your desk. Suddenly you don't have little spare scraps of wire that you can use to demonstrate holes with. All right, so let's just go through here, two of the holes, so you can see how they go. So the holes on these mini chevrons go through top to bottom or side to side, depending on how you've got it. You've got your pointy end, and then you've got your inner curve end. And this is like a really shiny metallic bronze color for these mini chevrons. And then we've got some ginkgo beads, and ginkgo beads are super fun. We have been playing with them a lot this year. These were one of the newer ones this year. And this color is just amazing. Let's get it up real close so you can see. You've got like kind of an orangey glow inside of it, and then this gold on the outside of it. So it's shiny and gold on the outside, and then you've got this warm orangey glow on the inside. These are gorgeous beads. And then we've got our nib bit beads, and these are little wedge shaped guys. And the holes go through the wedge crosswise. And the color on this is kind of a matte, maybe antique coppery color. It's like a warm, sort of reddish brown for that. I think these are going to look great with all of these other colors. And once more, these were the other two selections for our 2-hole beads. So let me pull out, while I've got all of this zoomed in a little bit, some of these beads that came in the bundle. And the bundle is an add-on. It doesn't come as part of the subscription, but you can choose to purchase it separately. And there's 2 different bundles. You've got your fire polish bead bundle, which comes with several different sizes of fire polish beads. And there's more in the bundle than what I was sent. Again, this was a selection that was just sent to me so that I could do some fun things with them. And it looks like I've got one that's kind of a matte green. Oh, is this a 6mm? Feels like it might be either 6 or 7mm. Fire polish bead, nice big chunkers. Looks like there's 2 different 4mm fire polish bead selections. And it looks like both of these have kind of 2 tones on them. We've got one that is going to go really great with those green beads, because it's green on that side, and then it's got like this, the bronze on the other side. This one is kind of more of a terracotta color with sort of brown spots or gray spots. And then this is a metallic, like dark bronze color metallic one. So those are the fire polish beads that I'm going to be working with this month. And then for our shaped beads, I am so happy that we got some leaf beads. If y'all are a fan of my channel, you might have seen I just did a video with a whole bunch of leaf beads. Oh my gosh. Now these shaped beads are one of the best things to get, like the selection of beads that you get with these. They're so cool. They're so often so cool. So I've got some matte finish leaf beads, and they're side drilled. Those are going to be super fun to play around with. And then there are some of these. They look like they're about the same shape as milk duds. But they've got this swirly glass, and they are super shiny with the hole that goes through the middle of them for these round, like they're puffed coins. And then we've got some square beads. They look like they've got like a chartreuse color with like a swirly travertine on top of them. So there's several of those. And these, look at these cylinder beads. They look like wood. They've got that patterning on the outside of them to look like little wood logs. I sort of love these so much. These are super great. Yeah, that's really cool. And then we've got a little button, a little check glass shank button. It is this nice, beautiful brown color with all of this carving on it. All right, so let's zoom out a little bit so you can see all of this all together a little bit better, because this is the October 2024 curated collection from Beads to Live By. And I am really excited to get going and start creating some things with this. In fact, I think I can share this with you. Me and Cassandra just planned today to go live on the Beads to Live By Facebook page. I'm going to do a beading party with her on the Facebook page over there. When we get a link to it, I will post it in the community notes. But go ahead and look forward to that. It's going to be on the 30th of October. We're going to do a live and we're going to play around with these beads, and it's going to be so much fun. So I hope to see you there. If you want to check out the curated collections at Beads to Live By, I will put a link to their curated collection site in the description below. And like I said, usually the extras from the clubs will get listed. You can purchase any of these beads that you've seen if they are still in stock, and you don't have to be a subscriber to be able to access them, but I really enjoy getting a surprise every month, and it is worth it to me to get a subscription. So I'm really happy that I've got them, and I'm happy that I get to share them with you. Before I go though, right before, I was just going to mention that I like to, when things are already pre-sorted like this in their own little containers, I like to sort them into one of these photo cases because they stack very nicely with my grid organizers, and it keeps everything all together. So I'll be putting these in here after I have put them back in their containers. Anyway, I hope you're having a fantastic weekend, and I will talk with you later. Happy beading.